Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've ever felt a woman pull closer to you, then suddenly act distant, colder, almost guarded, and it made your chest tighten because you knew something was there, stay with me. Because what confuses you is not rejection, it's emotional resistance, and that only happens when feelings are real enough to feel dangerous. Before we go deeper, take 1 second to like this video and subscribe, not for me, for you. Because the things you're about to understand will change how you see her behavior forever. I'm speaking to you not just as a psychologist, but as a woman who understands what happens inside the female mind when attraction grows faster than emotional safety. Men think desire looks obvious, smiles, touch, attention, but when a woman actually wants you deeply, something else shows up too, fear of losing control. Here's what you don't see. When she starts feeling strongly, her brain doesn't relax. It scans, it questions, it protects. Is he serious? Will I get hurt? Am I about to give power away? So instead of leaning in, she sometimes pulls back, and you read that as disinterest. But emotionally, she's trying to slow down something that feels bigger than she expected. You'll notice small contradictions. She remembers tiny details about you, but acts casual. She checks your reactions, but pretends she doesn't care. She takes longer to reply, yet the conversation never really dies. That's not indifference, that's emotional pacing. She's fighting the speed of her own attachment. A woman who feels nothing stays consistent, neutral, flat, easy. A woman who feels too much becomes complicated, careful, slightly tense around you, like she's trying not to show something. And here's the part most men misunderstand. Distance does not always mean disconnection. Sometimes distance means, I feel this too strongly, and I don't trust it yet. When a woman is battling her feelings, her behavior stops being smooth. It becomes layered. Mixed signals are not always games. Often they are emotions arguing with self-protection. You think confidence means not caring. But when she starts caring, confidence is exactly what shakes inside her. Not because you're perfect, not because she's weak, but because emotional investment always creates risk, and women are wired to feel relational risk deeply. When she wants you more than she planned to, her behavior becomes strategic, without her even realizing it. She starts managing how much of herself you get to see, not to manipulate you, to manage her own vulnerability. That shift is subtle, but powerful. Watch for this. She listens to you differently. A woman who's just being friendly hears your words. A woman who feels something studies your tone, your pauses, your reactions. She's gathering emotional data, because part of her is asking, is this safe to grow? And here's the sign men overlook. Emotional restraint. She may cut conversations short, even when they're going well. She may avoid deep eye contact sometimes. She may change the subject right when things feel intimate. That's not boredom, that's containment. Feelings rising faster than comfort. When attraction is light, interaction flows easily. When attraction is strong, self-awareness kicks in. She becomes conscious of how close she stands, how long she looks, how much she laughs. She is not pulling away from you. She's trying to regulate herself. You'll feel it as tension, a charged atmosphere, moments that feel like they could become something. Then she resets the tone. That reset is emotional braking. Her heart pressed the gas, her mind tapped the brakes. Another sign, she reacts more strongly to small changes in your energy. If you seem distant, she goes quiet. If you're warm, she softens quickly. Indifference doesn't track emotional shifts. Interest does. Understand this clearly. When a woman is unaffected, she is relaxed. When she is affected, she becomes careful. Careful with words, careful with time, careful with how much she reveals. Men misread carefulness as low interest. In reality, carefulness often appears when feelings are high and certainty is low. She is not fighting you. She's negotiating with her own emotions, trying to find a pace where desire doesn't outrun trust. Here's the part most men never notice. Her body talks before her mouth. When a woman is fighting her feelings, her gestures betray her intent. A quick touch, a lingering glance, a brush of hair behind her ear. Small, almost accidental movements that say, I want this, but I'm scared. You might dismiss them, but they are louder than words. Her energy around you changes too. She's both magnetic and cautious. You might feel warmth, followed by coldness, attention, followed by withdrawal. That emotional pulse is a signal that she's deeply invested, even if she won't admit it. The more she resists, the stronger the underlying desire. Notice her laughter. When she laughs at things you barely say, it's not just amusement, it's a bridge, a connection she's trying to safely test. And watch her posture. She leans in subtly during conversation, but maintains a small barrier, like crossed arms or angled shoulders. That's her body telling you she's interested, but protecting herself from vulnerability. Another subtle clue is emotional mirroring. She will unconsciously reflect your mood, your energy, your tone of voice. If you're calm, she relaxes. If you're playful, she teases back. That mirroring is her brain's way of syncing with you emotionally. Even as her mind debates, is this right? She might also test your reactions. Slight teasing, mild challenges, questions that probe boundaries. These are not games, these are tests. Her brain is checking. Can I trust him? Will he handle me wanting him? Every subtle push-pull is a negotiation of trust and safety, because desire without trust is terrifying for her. And here's a truth many men miss. The intensity of hidden attraction can make her anxious. She might cancel plans last minute, act distracted, or seem distant after a moment of closeness. That's not rejection. That's her trying to regulate a surge of feelings she hasn't fully processed. Men often chase the obvious signs: flirtation, bold moves, compliments, but the invisible signals, the tension in her voice, the hesitation in her steps, the flicker of longing in her eyes, these are the real indicators of a woman silently fighting her desire while feeling it more strongly than you think. If you learn to read these unspoken signals, you'll see the truth. What feels like resistance is often the clearest sign she wants you badly, even if she's terrified to admit it. Now let's talk about words, or rather the gaps between them. When a woman is battling her feelings, she doesn't speak freely. Her sentences are measured. Her tone shifts mid-thought. You'll catch pauses where she's weighing every word, trying not to reveal the depth of her desire. That hesitation, it's honesty wrapped in fear. She may also give mixed messages. I'm fine, but her eyes say otherwise. It's nothing. Yet she remembers tiny details about you that no casual friend would notice. This contradiction is her mind trying to stay in control while her emotions push forward. It's confusing, yes, but it's also powerful because it's real. Listen to what she doesn't say. When she avoids certain topics, it's not disinterest, it's vulnerability she's protecting. A woman who wants you deeply will reveal pieces of herself carefully, testing the waters to see if it's safe. If she pulls back after revealing something, it's because her feelings have triggered caution, not because her desire isn't there. She may also provoke small moments of tension, a challenge, a question, a teasing remark to gauge your reaction. Don't mistake this for gamesmanship. This is instinctive. Her mind is running a constant safety check. Can I trust him with my feelings? Can I let this grow without being hurt? Another hidden sign: subtle emotional shifts around your attention. If you speak to someone else, her energy may tighten. If you compliment her or acknowledge her uniqueness, even lightly, she may blush, fidget, or glance away. That's not casual behavior. That's desire expressing itself while being consciously restrained. Physical cues reinforce this. Leaning slightly closer, matching your gestures, or staying near you even when she could leave. These small acts are silent declarations. She's drawn to you, yet pulling back to avoid overexposure. That push-pull dynamic is her mind's way of self-preservation. And here's the key truth most men miss. The stronger her resistance, the stronger her hidden feelings. The tension, the hesitation, the contradictions, they all point to desire. When she acts cold after a moment of warmth, she isn't losing interest. She's trying to manage the intensity of emotions she doesn't know how to handle. The most dangerous misconception: thinking that hidden attraction equals indifference. On the contrary, these signals are the fingerprints of desire. Subtle, complex, but undeniable. If you can see them, you can understand her more deeply than 90% of men ever will. Now let's get even deeper into the little habits that betray a woman's true feelings. These are tiny, almost invisible, yet when you know what to look for, they scream her desire. Watch how she reacts when you leave the room, even for a few seconds. A casual glance back, a subtle shift in posture, a delayed smile when you return. That's longing masked as nonchalance. Pay attention to her communication patterns. She might not text first, she might take hours to respond, yet she always replies in a way that keeps the conversation alive. She drops emotional breadcrumbs, questions about your life, your thoughts, your feelings, because she wants to be part of your inner world, but she's afraid of appearing too vulnerable. Then there's her energy when you're around others. Notice if she becomes slightly protective, more attentive, or even slightly jealous. These are unconscious reactions. She may mask them with humor or casual comments, but underneath, they reveal a mind and heart that are trying to measure how much she can safely reveal without feeling exposed. Another subtle clue: she remembers everything, not just facts but emotions. She recalls what made you smile, what frustrated you, what excited you, and yet she rarely lets this be obvious. That retention of emotional detail is her way of holding on to you mentally while she manages the intensity of her feelings, physically and emotionally. Body language becomes a language of its own. She mirrors your movements, leans in when you speak, brushes against your arm accidentally on purpose. These micro moments are involuntary, her subconscious desire bleeding through the conscious effort to remain guarded. And the strongest sign of all, vulnerable honesty in small doses. She lets slips of real feeling escape. A lingering look, a quiet "I care," a sigh after you leave. These aren't accidents, they're tiny truths she cannot fully control. The stronger the feelings, the more she fights against revealing them, which is why these moments are so precious. Here's what most men fail to see. Every act of resistance is a mirror of attraction. Every pause, every subtle withdrawal, every contradiction in words and actions. They're not walls, they're warning signals of emotional investment. She wants you badly, but she's protecting herself. Recognize it, respect it, and you'll understand her more clearly than anyone else ever will. Now let's uncover the emotional friction that happens when she's secretly drawn to you. You'll notice it in subtle tension, a half smile, a sharp laugh, a hesitation before she answers. That friction isn't irritation, it's desire, trying to fight its own intensity. She's navigating an internal storm, attraction clashing with caution, longing clashing with fear. Watch how she reacts when you show interest or closeness. A woman fighting her feelings will often respond with a mixture of warmth and guardedness. She'll smile, yet glance away. She'll touch lightly, yet pull back slightly. That push and pull isn't indecision. It's the body and mind negotiating with emotions that are too strong to release freely. She may test your emotional resilience. Small challenges, teasing remarks, even passive comments about other women, or your attention. These aren't games. They're her subconscious way of seeing if you can handle the fire she's trying to keep contained. Every reaction you give is information for her brain, a measure of safety and trustworthiness. Her attention will flicker like a flame in the wind. When you're near, she may seem fully present, engaged, and animated. The next moment, she retreats slightly, as though she's pulling back to make sure she doesn't give too much too soon. That oscillation is not confusion. It's the hallmark of someone emotionally invested, but afraid of being exposed. Then there's the emotional resonance. She will respond to your moods almost instinctively. If you're tense, she becomes cautious. If you're calm, she softens. If you're playful, she teases. That's her emotional mirror, and it's a signal of unconscious attachment. She's syncing with you even when she's consciously trying to protect herself. Look for moments when her words and body don't fully align. She may say it's nothing, while her eyes linger, her fingers fidget, her posture leans toward you. Those are the cracks where truth slips through, signs that beneath her careful exterior, desire is alive and urgent. Finally, understand this: the more she resists, the stronger her feelings likely are. Men often chase women who are overtly flirty and easy, missing the real prize, the woman whose mind says "I shouldn't," while her heart screams "I can't resist." That tension, that contradiction, is the signal that she wants you badly. She's just wrestling with how to admit it to herself. Here's the part that separates men who notice from men who miss everything. Emotional leakage. When a woman is fighting her feelings, small moments betray her desire in ways she can't fully control. A subtle sigh when you leave, a flicker of disappointment when your attention shifts, a quick smile that disappears the second she catches herself. These are all silent admissions. Notice her curiosity about your life. She asks questions that aren't casual. She wants details about your day, your thoughts, your feelings, and she remembers them, not because she's polite, but because she's mentally and emotionally invested. That attention is proof she's building a mental map of you in her heart, even if she's consciously trying not to. Her tone of voice changes around you, even slightly. It softens, it quickens, it becomes more animated or intentionally subdued, depending on the moment. These subtle shifts aren't mistakes, they're her body language's way of expressing attraction when words feel too dangerous. You'll also notice moments where she appears conflicted, a laugh that's just a little too sharp, a look that lingers a beat too long before she looks away, a touch that seems casual but carries weight. These contradictions are not games, they are the evidence of her mind and heart being at war with each other. Even her social behavior signals interest. She notices who you talk to, how you interact, and how others react to you. She may subtly mirror the behavior of other women around you, not to compete, but to understand the emotional stakes and calibrate her own responses. That's desire trying to coexist with self-preservation. And here's the harsh truth most men never grasp. Women who want you and fight it are playing a long game. They aren't impulsive, they are strategic, even if unconsciously. Every hesitation, every withdrawal, every contradiction is a test, not of you, but of whether she can safely let herself feel fully. So when you sense mixed signals, tension, or sudden emotional distance, don't panic. Don't assume disinterest. Read it as a sign of depth. She's not turning away from you. She's standing at the edge of vulnerability, deciding if she can trust you with something real. That's desire wrapped in caution, and understanding it changes everything. The woman who fights her feelings is often the woman who feels them the most. Finally, let's expose the truth most men overlook. The signs she's secretly craving you are all around, hidden in plain sight. She may act distant one moment, yet remember the smallest detail you mentioned weeks ago. She may brush off a compliment, yet her eyes light up when you give it. That contradiction is the heartbeat of hidden desire. Her protective behavior toward her own feelings is not a rejection of you, it's proof of intensity. When she pulls back after closeness, it's not a loss of interest, it's her internal system trying to manage emotions that feel too overwhelming. The stronger her feelings, the more pronounced the push-pull. That tension, that hesitation, is desire wrapped in caution. You'll notice subtle prioritization. She may shift her schedule, subtly find excuses to cross paths, or linger near you without purpose. These are micro-choices driven by attraction, even when she consciously resists. Every small act that draws her back toward you is a whisper of her longing, a signal most men fail to decode. Her vulnerability is partial but telling. She may let slip a truth, a fear, a fleeting glance, then retreat. That retreat is not disinterest. It's her mind protecting a heart that feels deeply. Every slip, every micro-expression is her emotional fingerprint, revealing that beneath the surface, she wants you badly. Emotional synchronization is another key indicator. She responds to your energy almost unconsciously. Your mood affects hers. You smile, she mirrors. You frown, she tightens. Indifference never works like this. Only intense, restrained attraction creates these invisible emotional threads. And here's the ultimate secret. A woman fighting her feelings is a woman in love with control, yet powerless against her own desire. She will challenge, hesitate, withdraw, and test, not to hurt you, but to gauge whether her heart is safe enough to surrender. Every contradiction, every pause, every subtle sign is a truth disguised as ambiguity. The lesson for you, if you truly want to understand women and hidden desire, stop chasing clarity and start observing depth. See her micro-signals, feel the tension, read the silences. When you do, you'll recognize the woman who wants you badly, even while she pretends not to, even while she tries to fight it. Men who can read this become rare. Men who respect it become unforgettable. And now, you can be both.